Now, we have been talking about the carbohydrates and some experiments. As you can see here, we have discussed. Now, we have discussed several questions here, right? Well, this effort is to support you to revise whatever the things that you have learned in grade 10. And we have been discussing about carbohydrates and the finally 24 questions. By using that, we discussed about the carbohydrate one experiment, which is very much popular in testing, right? So, very good morning, children. Very good morning, who are coming on live as well. Oh, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Nice to hear your voice, sir, in the morning. We are struggling with our things. Okay. 24th question I have given you. If you read it, it's something like this. Yeah, a group of students did the following experiment. They took few germinating green gram seeds and collected the extract of it by grinding and mixing with water. Then they took wheat flour and added iodine solution and observed. At the same time, they took another sample of wheat flour and added the extract from green gram and iodine solution. They observed both samples after a few hours. What are the possible observations? If you read this question very clearly, you can see what they have done is they took few germinating green gram seeds. The few green gram seeds germinating, when it is germinating, it converts the starch into glucose. The way of converting the starch into glucose is by using the enzyme amylase. So the purpose of taking germinating seed is to to extract the amylase enzyme. Then grinding and mixing with water. Then they took the wheat flour and added the iodine solution. Now they added the iodine solution, that is the starch test. When iodine is added to the starch, it turns into dark blue color or purplish blue color. All right. Then they took another sample of wheat flour and added the extract from green gram and iodine solution. So now they have two solutions as I explained here. Look at the board. Look at the board. So they took two samples, right? One extract, they have a starch and iodine solution, which would turn into the blue color. So you have starch, and this is the starch plus iodine. So the starch white and then turn into blue color. But this another solution is there in the same way. You got the starch and iodine solution, right? And the meantime, iodine solution is there. But meantime, they have added the extract from the green gram. That is to supply them the amylase enzyme. Right now, amylase enzyme would gradually convert starch into glucose. So when starch turns into glucose, starch will be turning into glucose, right? So as there is no starch, the color will be changed. The color is changed from blue color to colorless condition. So that's the possible observation. And based on this observation, the question is designed. So when we go to the question again, let's consider the questions that I have given you. Give me 1 second to set it all. Fantastic. Right. I will go to the question again. The question says, what are the possible observations? I think that's the last question that you have written. What are the possible observations? Yeah. What are the possible observations? The first observation is that one, if you have the notes, you can write what date is today. Today is 7th, 11, 2021. What are the possible observations? Number one, the starch solution is turned into dark blue color. Dark blue color. Second, after few hours, one solution with iodine, with not iodine, with the solution taken from green gram, germinating green gram, loses its color, becomes colorless. B. My next question. What is the purpose of taking the solution from green gram? I will write my question. What is the purpose? Do you think you want to enable my chat box? Somebody, I don't use the chat box. That's not a message for me. Okay, write my handwriting is pretty beautiful today. Write the purpose. Write the purpose of taking the extract from germinating green gram seeds. Write the purpose of obtaining the germinating green gram. What is the reason, children? The yes purpose to add the Ambusa. It's very difficult to speak in the morning because the others are sleeping and we don't like to disturb their night sleep with the cool environment in the morning, right? Uh, Probably, possibly, we will be also having the same next year after the exam, or exam. Okay. But we don't think about that. We don't mind about that. Find the purpose of taking the extract from germinating green gram seeds. The purpose is to add amylase enzyme uh, to amylase enzyme to amylase enzyme to the starch solution. The starch solution. Starch solution. That is the purpose of obtaining the germinating seeds. Right. My next question, based on C, we will be continuing the same revision every Sunday from 4 to 6. And our next step after this lesson is to go to the most difficult part. You all think that the motion and the, the areas to discuss about the motion and the graphical representations of the motion along with the time, right? The part C is um, in human digestive system, in the human digestive system, in the human digestive system, the starch digestion takes place. Roman number 1. Write the place where the starch digestion is started. Write the place where starch digestion is started. Yeah. What is your answer? I like to listen to your voice as well, if you possible. What is the answer? What is the place of the human digestive system where the starch digestion starts? One? You know the answer? Is it a mouth, a stomach, a small intestine? Mouth?
Mouth.
Thank you for breaking the silence. Mouth is correct. And my next question, then, if it is mouth, what is the place and enzyme secreted for the above digestion? Above digestion. Place. What is the place? 3 salivary glands. The salivary glands, the answer. salivary gland. Salivary gland. And my next question, the enzyme. What? What's the enzyme? Salivary amylase. Salivary. Saliva can say L-I-V-A. Don't spell it. Salivary. Salivary. Iya kurangnya. Salivary. Hindi matulungan. Salivary. Salivary amylase. Salivary amylase. So I don't like to take. Okay. What's the place enzyme secret for the above digestion? Right, the place where starch digestion started, its mouth, and it goes on. Right. So I'd like to add some of you coming from grade 10 and some of you are coming from grade 11. Yeah, the starch digestion starts from the mouth and then no digestion, starch digestion take place at the stomach. Then the next place that the starch digestion starting is the duodenum and then small intestine. From the small intestine, the starch digestion is completed. So the starch digestion is like the starch is converted to maltose by amylase, and then from maltose, glucose is produced by maltase enzyme. So there are two steps of the starch digestion that takes place in the human digestive system. So this is how actually the starch digestion takes place. It is all in the human digestive system. From the mouth, it starts with the help of the salivary glands. Amylase is secreted. Amylase is secreted. So all these supplies the necessary enzyme. So starch is converted into maltose, 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 and that's a halfway. And next, the rest of the thing happen in the small intestine. I don't like to continue with that. And my next step is to talk about the protein. Protein. When we think of protein, right? Protein is another biological molecule. Proteins, right? The monomer of protein, the monomer, if protein is a polymer, monomer of protein is amino acid. The amino acid is made of how? C, and the amino group is there. Amino group. How are you going to write the amino group? It is NH2. NH2, and you got the R group, then you got hydrogen, COOH. Am I correct? This is the amino group, and you have the carboxyl group, R group. Based on this one, we can make the questions. Right? Let's go and write some questions based on the amino acid. Going to the question number 25. Question number 25. Question number 25. 25. The structure, which color did I use? Black. Good. The structure given below, the structure given below is based on another biological molecule. Another biological molecule. Another biological molecule. So biomolecules, right? Use the biomolecule. Another biomolecule, BIOMOLECULE. Answer the questions. Answer the questions. You could have told me that you have not shared your screen. How the leadership takes place if you are not speaking to me? Why didn't you speak to me? So you have not shared the screen. Answer the questions. The structure given below is based on another biomolecule. Answer the questions. Very good morning, the late attendees. So this is the structure. You have first part, C, R, H, this one. This is X, and this is Y. My question first part. Well, first question. Name the X and Y groups. Name the X and Y groups. What is the X group?
Amino.
What's it?
Amino.
Amino group. And what is Y group? Carboxyl group. Amino group and carboxyl group. As you can see on the screen, you can see it. Amino group and carboxyl group. Second part. Write two elements. Write two elements available in X group. Two elements available in X group. What are they? Write two elements available in X group. Could you please tell me? Yeah. It is unfair for me, only for me to speak in this morning. Like to hear from your voice. Would like to have a girl's voice. Two elements available in X group.
Nitrogen and hydrogen.
nitrogen. Thank you very much. Nitrogen. Nitrogen. And hydrogen. Nitrogen and hydrogen. So in our nitrogenous waste, this nitrogen and hydrogen, nitrogen is used in our digestive system to produce urea, the nitrogenous waste. And my next question, third one. Third one. Third one. Okay. What is the simplest SIMPLEST? What is the simplest molecule? What is the simplest molecule of the above molecule? What is the simplest form? Example. Write the structure of it. The first part, the answer is, it is glycine. 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 So the structure is carbon. You have NH2. Instead of R group, you have hydrogen. And again hydrogen, COOH. It doesn't have R group. Right. My next question. Fourth one. Fourth question. The structure given below is based on another biomolecule. Write the main biomolecule which is made by above the structure. Write the main biomolecule which is made by above structure. Is it protein, lipid, or what? The answer is
Protein.
protein. Thank you. The answer is protein. It is protein. I like to have a red line in my book. The answer is protein. Right. So all these, there are some significances of protein. 5. Right. 2. Uses of. 2 uses of proteins. I use the same word, protein. 2. our body. What are the uses of protein to our body? Let me know. 1, 2. As an energy source. As an energy source. Second, to make a structural component. To make a structural components. To make a structural components. Proteins are very important. Apart from that, I will write some more extra as enzymes, as hormones, as hormones, and antibodies, as antibodies, as antibodies. So they are very late common. There are so many uses, right? Okay. Which test is used? Which test is used to identify protein? Name two materials. No, two chemicals. Two laboratory chemicals used in the above test. Name two laboratory chemicals used in the above test. Right. What's the first name? The answer for the first part. Which test is it?
Urate test.
Burette test. Thank you very much, my dear boy. Burette test. Biurette. Burette test. And the second part. What are the two laboratory chemicals used? Yeah. Sodium hydroxide and copper sulfate. CuSO4. What is the color change? Which color to which color? Turn to the purple color. Right. Right. That's all about the protein and yeah, lipid is there, nucleic acid. So I will be going to the last question from this unit. Not the last question. There are some more parts. And before going to the motion in a straight line, I like to give a little description about the motion in a straight path and based some of the questions based on that. Right. All right. Question number 26. Up to now, hope that you are okay with our lesson 26. The structure given below, contributes to make nucleic acid, NuCleic acids, nucleic acids. Answer the questions answer the question based on it. So this is the structure. You've got the funny structure like here. So early in the morning, the crow has waken up and says, "Caw," right? X, Y, and Z. X, Y, and Z. First one, what is the name of the above the structure? What is the name of the above structure? The answer is nucleotide. Nucleotide. Second, name the parts X, Y, and Z. I changed the color, right? The question, yeah. Name the parts X, Y, and Z. Name the parts X, Y, and Z. X, phosphate group, PHOS, PHA, TE, phosphate group. Y, pentose sugar group, pentose sugar group is Z, nitrogenous base. Nitrogenous base. Nitrogenous, TROGENOUS, nitrogenous base. So these are the parts. And next question, third one. What is the structural unit of DNA? What's the structural unit of DNA? The answer is deoxyribonucleotide. Deoxyribonucleotide. We call DNA deoxyribonucleotide. And fourth question. The fourth question. Fourth question. Right to significance of nucleic acid. Two significance of nucleic acid. One, the storage of genetic information of organisms. The storage of genetic information of organisms. Not only storing, transformation from generation to generation. Transformation, the transformation of the genetic, Genetic, genetic information from generation to generation. So there are some more things, and I'm not going to continue from there. Okay. The other ones, of course, we can make by using the vitamins and the other matters. Right? So most of the time, the MCQs can be asked by using the other parts like here, vitamins and minerals. So there you have whatever the things that we discussed based on these areas. We can have nucleic acids. We can have the questions by using this water as a good solvent, a coolant, high cohesive and adhesive forces, differential expansion in freezing, differential expansion in freezing. Density of water is higher than density of ice. When ice is formed, they come top layer of water. Well, actually, I just want to give you a little idea about this water. Let me explain that one. Well, the water is not a biomolecule. Water is not a biomolecule, but water is important to our body in different ways because water has special properties. Its own special properties. It's a coolant, right? Water is a coolant. You know, the water has high specific heat capacity. Water has high specific heat capacity. So what does this mean? What is meant by a specific heat capacity? And what is the use of that one for the living organisms? High specific heat capacity means the amount of heat energy required to increase the temperature by 1 degree of 1 kilogram of substance. If you take 1 kilogram of water, 1 kilogram of water, so it has 1 kilogram, and you are going to increase its temperature, by 1 degree, whatever the units you concern, if it is degree Celsius. So the heat energy required to increase heat energy required to increase the temperature by 1 degree Celsius of 1 kilogram of the particular substance. So if you have water, right, it is the amount of heat energy to increase the temperature by 1 degree Celsius is very high, very high. The specific heat capacity is very high. Therefore, that actually is essential for us in two ways. One, our body is made of water. The most of the body weight, body mass is water. To tell you, the amount of water of our body is two-thirds. Two-thirds of our body weight is water. Two-thirds of our body weight is water. So then two-thirds of our body weight is water. That means the heat energy required to increase the body temperature by 1 degree Celsius is very high. Even though the outside temperature goes up, the outside temperature might be going up, but the body temperature remains steady because that sudden increase of heat energy in the outside environment would not affect to the body temperature, because the body temperature has to absorb more heat energy to increase 1 degree Celsius, right? Specific heat capacity we will discuss in our heat lesson. And the other way, that for the aquatic organisms, they live in water, and if the outside temperature not in water, the atmospheric temperature goes up quickly, imagine that. Still, the temperature in water will not be increased very quickly, because it requires a huge amount of heat energy to increase its temperature by 1 degree Celsius. So, water is very good as a coolant, Not only that, water is a very good solvent for different solutes. If you consider the solutes in the environment that supports for our body functions, like carbohydrate, protein, vitamins, they dissolve very well in water. They dissolve very well in water because water is a solvent for a numerous or number of solutes. So in that way, it is very important as water is a solvent, because there is a creature which makes these lines. Yeah. Look at here. From our digestive tract to absorb the things, water is essential. All these things dissolve in water and then absorb into the body. The other one, for the aquatic organisms, the organisms which live in water also requires water as a solvent. Carbon dioxide will be dissolved in water. Carbon dioxide, oxygen is slightly dissolved in water, and some mineral salts dissolved in water. So these things can be absorbed by the aquatic organisms for their survival, for their existence. So this is how water is important. And I like to add a question based on that knowledge as well. Hope that you're okay up to now, coming so early in the morning and joining with us. in the class live as well as live on YouTube. Right. Going there. Question number 27. Are you all there or sleeping or not? Not hungry?
No.
Not yet. Not yet. Do you like to have the exam very soon? When do you like to have the exam? December or March? December or March?
March.
March. You don't like because if it is March, you know that you have to wait another couple of months with the pressure and all. But if it is in December, you can finish it off and can get ready for the next testing. I mean, your A levels. Yes or no? Yeah, but I believe that it is better if we can finish it off quickly and just without dragging it out, because we can't rely on the things. We can't rely on the things happening around the world and in the country, because the decisions are made by not for the favor of the other part. Most of the favors are going with the ruling part, right? They see how they can implement the things for the development, whereas the concern, if it is on the children, the approach should be totally different from this, because education plays a big role, and unfortunately I can see that education has been put into the third part or something like that. The priority has been given to some other thing. You might ask why I tell this one. There are many reasons for that as well, because the very first thing is that your education should be basically targeting the requirement of the country, and that syllabus has to be made to suit to the requirement of the country. And yeah, if you consider the primary education is based on so many traditional things, that the latest applications are not added. And I'd like to see that how the app is developed and how the software engineering is there. But nothing is taught in primary section, that IT is there but not tested. And law and order, it's better to know about the law and order in the schooling time. It should be added. The subject law should be added to from grade 1 to 11 as well, and for the A level. But all the things are done according to the rules and regulations. Unfortunately, it is not taught in the school syllabus or curricula. There are competencies, the national goals set by the government that they have to achieve through that by teaching, but it is not possibly available with the classes you attend in the tuition field. Even in the schools, teachers, I have not heard of mentioning about the national goals of studying science, national goals of studying maths, and the competencies that you should achieve while learning science or maths or languages, whatever the things you do. That's a little reminder of what, but basically it is better if you can have the exams quickly and then test your knowledge, right? Even you might be happy if the exam is postponed up to the month of May next year. You might feel like of relaxing, oh my God, it's okay, then we can have the ample time of study. No, the answer is still no, because it's only the waste of time. We can test whatever the knowledge that you have and see whether you are qualified enough to get into the education in A-level sections and follow the particular streams like bio streams, biological streams, or the physical sciences that study in the combined maths and chemistry, physics, or IT, or commerce sections, or engineering technology sections. And I should uh, emphasize that more technological subjects should be added to the area sections like microbiology in food industry and agricultural industry, and more um, ITs should be added, and more um, technology should be given to the agriculture. It's motor mechanic. And now you have understood that the basic requirements of the country in a situation like this, the pandemic situation like this, should be the food and medicine. Unfortunately, that's not taught in our A-level classes. I mean, food industry. If you check how the coconut is grown in Malaysia and how the banana is grown in Malaysia, which is totally different to Sri Lanka, and prohibiting the use of artificial fertilizer is a good step, and it should be taught in the school as well. Why you should not go with the artificial fertilizer, and how can we improve the use of the compost productions, not the compost that we take right from the heap of garbages that my mother sweep after sweeping the courtyard and putting them in the place where they decay. It's not a compost actually. It should be artificially made with the help of the organisms like earthworm, which are developed categories that converts a huge amount of biomass removed from the kitchen, and the stuffs taken from the animals, and then makes the compost fertilizer. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to that one. I'm going to the my question. How far do you agree with me? I just spoke about 5 minutes. Yeah. Do you agree with me or angry with me? No, any comments? Water is a good, right? Water has, you can see my screen, can you? Water has different, water has different specific properties. Water has different specific properties which support the existence of the life on earth. On earth. Simple Roman number 1. Explain how the property that water is a good solvent. Explain how the property that water is a good solvent supports the life. Explain how the property that water is a good solvent supports the life. How does it, how can we use it for the life? You can write 2 points. I can hear a bird's voice. We call Kandapalu. That he never stops his talking. Well, provides a medium for biochemical reaction in the cells of organisms. One, provides a medium for biochemical reactions. Biochemical reactions in the cells of organisms. Provides a medium for biochemical reaction in the cells of organisms. We call metabolism, metabolic activities, metabolic activities within bracket. You know that metabolism is anabolism and catabolism, right? It's a sum of the metabolism, anabolism and catabolism. Some bigger molecules are broken into smaller molecules. From them, the new molecules are made. So this thing happen. This can be happen. Sorry, this should be happening in a liquid environment. If the liquid environment is not there, that reaction would not be that much of efficient, effective. So water is a very good medium for all these biochemical reactions that takes place within a cell. And the second one, it is the main constituent, CONSTITUENT, constituent in the extracellular fluid. Extracellular fluids of organism. The main constituent in the extracellular fluids of organisms. One more thing. Used for removing excretory material. Excretory materials and fecal matters, FAECA, fecal matter of animals. Explain the property that water is a good solvent, supports the life. My next question, second one. Mention 2 other properties of water. Mention 2 other properties of water. The answer is 1. A coolant. 2. high cohesive and adhesive forces. High cohesive and adhesive forces. High cohesive and adhesive forces. What do you mean by cohesive and adhesive forces? What is meant by cohesive forces and adhesive forces? You want me to explain it or no? You want some more idea about that? Cohesive and
Yes, sir.
yeah, the cohesive and adhesive forces. It's something like that. The water molecule H2O, when it is with the other water molecules, it behaves something like this. It has hydrogen, right? So hydrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, oxygen. They have intermolecular bonds that they are attracted to each other because this is delta negative and this is delta positive, slightly negative and slightly positive. Intermolecular bonds might keep binding together. So then they have their own attraction each other. And meantime, when it is in, imagine that the xylem tissue, if water is in xylem tissue, right? So the xylem tissue would carry the transport water, and the intermolecular bonds would keep binding them together, and the same time, so this is we call cohesive forces. That's the cohesion. That is the intermolecular attraction of the intermolecular bonds. And the other one is adhesive forces. These molecules will be adhering or sticking to the walls of the container. The walls of the container. If you take a small glass tube, capillary tube, and when you dip this one in water, right? When you dip this one in water, you can see that water level goes slightly up. The water level is not with the same water level of the other one. That this goes slightly up, and that we call the capillary action. The capillary action would give the force for the upward movement of water in the xylem tissue. So not only that, even the blood of our blood vessels, right, urinary tract, all these places where the particular solution has to be moved up. So the moving up is supported by these two forces we call the adhesive forces and cohesive forces. We call them capillary action. So this is actually not in your syllabus, but it was in the old syllabus before your 2015 curriculum. It is the way of transporting the materials, water and minerals upward towards the shoot system of a plant by using the ascent of sap, ascent of sap. I can't remember the spelling for this. Ascent of sap. Rasodgamana in Sinhala we call Rasodgamana. That the water and mineral salts should be transported up, and for that these cohesive and adhesive forces are very important, because water molecule bounds together with their own attraction with the intermolecular bonds, and that's cohesive forces, and the water molecules stick to the walls of the xylem tissue, or whatever the vessel that water carries, and tries to move upward. So this is the cohesive and adhesive forces that is used, that property that the water has, and used in transportation of material. Okay, hope you got something from there. Did you? Did you?
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you very much for your responding. And my next question, third part. Do you think it's worthwhile of coming and attending this class in the morning to add something to your knowledge? Yeah. High cohesive and adhesive forces. Next, water can be polluted. Water can be polluted as different, unwanted, harmful solutes, S-O-L-U-T-E, are added. Simple A. Mention 2. Chemical solutes that can be added to water. Mention 2 chemical solutes that can be added to water. Yeah. 1. So these are open-ended questions. You don't have exactly things there, but you can guess. Agricultural waste, what? Try 2 chemical solutes that can be added. Chemicals which contain heavy metals from pesticides and weedicides. Two. Factory waste added with used water. Simple B. Mention 2 chemical solids that can be added to water. Simple B. Mention biological waste that can be added to water. Biological waste that can be added to water. What are the biological waste that can be added to water? I'm talking about, yeah, for biological waste that can be added to water. No idea? Yeah, we can write what? The materials, the substance contain ammonia. Ammonia is included in urine and fecal matters, right? Nitrogenous waste from the organisms. You can add one nitrogenous waste. Nitrogenous waste, WSTES, such as urea, urine, URINE. Another one, fecal matters. Fecal matter can be added. Okay. With that, so the other one is normally the questions coming from the from the vitamins and minerals. Now I'm going to make one overall questions from this unit 1, okay, and see how you answer it, and then yeah, how to shift to the motion in a straight line. We'll see. This is question number 27. Question number 28. Question number 28. Question number 28. Are you satisfied with the study materials you have regarding this unit 1, biology? Right? 28th question. 28th question. Right. The life on Earth was formed million years ago. The first organism was heterotrophic. And later autotrophic organisms were formed. Autotrophic organisms were formed. Many biomolecules and inorganic compounds are used in the process of forming the life on earth. Forming the life on earth. First question. Write 3 inorganic compounds essential for the process of forming an organism. Write 3 inorganic compounds essential for the process of forming an organism. Your answer. Guess and tell. What are the 3? I need your answer. Verbal answer. I am interested in to have it. Verbal answers. 1. Inorganic compounds that does not have organic compounds. 1. Boys, girls, don't put me in trouble. I need your answer.
Water.
Oh, very good. Thank you very much, my dear little girl. Water. Nicely, very well accepted. Another one. Chetana, you answered. Thank you very much. Another one. A male voice, please. Oh, yes, Chetana.
Minerals.
Mineral salts. Thank you. The last one. Mineral salts. Or minerals. Another one. Ryan. Tizanga is there.
Oh, sir.
Can I have the third answer? Water, mineral salts was the third one.
Nota.
Gases.
Excellent, Tizanga. Thank you very much. Gases. So the water, mineral salts, and gases. Those are the inorganic compounds essential for the process of forming an organism. Number 2. Number 2. I like to have the red line in my writing book. This is very important. Number 2. Number 2. Name. Name. 4 elements. 4 elements which contribute to form different components in the body. 4 elements. I like you to listen to you again. Yeah. Name 4 elements which contribute to form different components in the body. 1. Hansini or Senuli. Sanuli. Can I have them? Hey. For elements which contribute to form different components in the body. This is something you know, right? What is the major one?
Carbon.
Carbon or oxygen? The highest percentage is
Oxygen.
oxygen. And next, carbon. Then oxygen, carbon, hydrogen. I just wrote in the order. And nitrogen. Nitrogen. Oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen. And the third question. Third question. Name the structural components within brackets, monomers used to form FOUR, four main biomolecules. Name the structural components or monomers used to form four main biomolecules. So I have not given them, you have to write and then write the structural components. There are four main biomolecules. Yeah, first one. First one. First one.
Carbon.
Carbohydrate, thank you. And what's the monomer? Carbohydrates. What's the structural component or the monomer of that? Yeah. Carbohydrate is made of what? Monosaccharides. What's the other one? Carbohydrate. The other one?
Protein.
Oh, protein. Thank you. And proteins, what's the structural component?
Amino acid.
Amino acid. And next one, after the protein, what's the other one? We discussed today. No, we didn't discuss the lipids. Lipids. What's the monomer? Fatty acids and
Glycerol. Glycerol.
glycerol. GLYCERCERO. And the last one, nucleic acid. Nucleic acid. What is the monomer? How are the nucleic acids made?
Nucleotide.
Nucleotide. Thank you. Nucleotide. Nucleic acids or nucleotide. Okay. And my next question. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Yeah. Right. The chemical compound. Chemical compound taken from the laboratory. Taken from the laboratory to test the following biomolecules. Number 1, protein. What are the chemical compounds taken from the laboratory?
Sodium.
Yep. Sodium hydroxide and
Copper.
copper sulfate. 2. Carbohydrate. I must say, right? Sugar. What can be used? Sugar means sucrose. Sucrose is tested with 2 chemical compounds. First, you have to use that one and then add the other one. What's that? First one, dilute sulfuric acid. Then, which solution? Benedict solution. Benedict solution. Dilute sulfuric acid and Benedict solution. Benedict ne ganne? Okay, the third one. Lipids. What are the compounds that's taken from the laboratory? Yep. Sudan 3. Question number 5. Question number 5. Write the organelle. Write the organelle of the cell. Organelle of the cell. And the organelle of the cell which has the connection with the processes relevant to the organelle of the cell which has the connection with the process relevant to the following biological molecules. Number one, carbohydrates. Carbohydrates. What is the cell component? If it is carbohydrate, which part of the cell is dealing with that? You can write two things. One, I need to answer actually whether it is correct or wrong. Yeah. No, any idea? Why? Chlorophyll. Chlorophyll and mitochondria. Chlorophyll and mitochondria. Chlorophyll will make the carbohydrates, and mitochondria will use it as a cellular respiration. You have to think in different angles. It's not the same thing that is appearing in the textbook. Second one, protein. What is the organelle relevant to the process? Yeah. This is not an organelle, but still you can say what? Is the ribosome, endoplasmic reticulum? Neither. Ribosomes and ER. Nucleus. Nucleus. Next. Nucleic acid. Nucleic acid. What's it? Nucleus, right? Nucleus, chromosomes. Chromosomes. Right. That's question number 5. Based on the first 28 question. And question number 6. Hopefully the last part for the day. And next week will be very important as we are going to discuss second unit. Right. Right. The element which is important in the following. Number one. Synthesis of thyroxine. Number 2, opening and closing of the stomata. Number 3, synthesis of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin. 4. Fourth one, activates enzymes. Activates enzymes. And 5. Oh, to maintain constant osmotic pressure in cells. The first one, synthesis of thyroxine. The answer? The answer?
Iodine.
Iodine. Opening and closing of stomata. Potassium. Synthesis of hemoglobin. Iron. Activates enzymes.
Sodium.
Sodium. And the last, to maintain constant osmotic pressure.
Sodium.
Sodium. Okay, with that, we will be finishing off our session. Sir, Mata, Sanipana, sir, Nisa, other කතා කරන්නේ නැත්තේ. සනීප නැති කරගන්න එපා. සනීපය තියාගන්න. නේද? This yeah. So it is time to end up my session. I hope that this would be very much supportive. For the next day, that's coming Sunday at 4 o'clock, we are going to discuss about the second unit, that is the motion. Let's study how the knowledge that we gain from the second unit would support in understanding and preparing the questions based on that unit. So hope that you enjoyed a lot from the questions from the first lesson. And as usual, we will be coming live on YouTube next week as well. Your comments on this would be very nice, and you can join live in the Zoom class as well if you are watching this video clip on my YouTube channel. Right. Okay. We have the theory class on Saturday, and we have the revision classes again on Wednesday and Thursday. Until then, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice day, sir.
You're welcome.
Goodbye, sir. Have a nice day.
Goodbye. Take care.